Well, hello again. I am going to repaint the Fireflies for you guys because on my last video, the overhead camera, which we're working on now, quit. Let's see. I'm trying. So what I'm going to do a little differently than I did last time is do the grass area first because I kind of want that to dry a little better so that when we put the Fireflies in, it'll be dry and won't blend in with the paint. And I'm working flat without an easel, and that is a little more challenging for me, especially since when I get to this part I have to be reaching across. So I hope you guys are having a good week. Right now I am just basically painting my lighter green, and I'm going to kind of go over it with the darker green to create texture, grass, but we're just laying down the foundation. I think when I'm done, I might even introduce you guys to one of my studio pups. But this is a fairly easy painting that I kind of made up. And I'm just using the one I painted the other night as a guide for this one. More green paint. I'd show you all my colors, but I have other colors on here because I did a painting just before this for somebody that is being shipped to somebody tomorrow. So I was kind of working on something else for a little while. There we go. I'm going to kind of use this 1-inch flat, and I'm going to kind of bring the dark green in upward motion in an attempt, and this might even be better to wait until the green dries to create grass. Get our basic grasses in here, and when this dries we can come back in and add more detail. Got a couple paint parties coming up. I've got a private party on Friday, and then I have one the next couple Tuesdays. The summer it always slows down because of all the businesses getting busier with their tourists, and just people are more out and about in the summer. I'm sitting here thinking I should have turned my air on tonight. It's starting to get a little warm. Well, as you say though, it's the first week of June and I haven't really used my air yet. I think it's going on tonight. Today was the hottest day we've had in a while. It's nothing but rain, rain, rain. Alright, so I'm just kind of bringing the texture up to the top. And we'll come back and we see all these lines from the paintbrush. We'll fix all that when it dries a little more. We'll probably add in some light green, more dark green. There. Alright, now we get to do the fun part, and that's the sky. Oops. I don't want to do that. That's no good. I accidentally mixed had some black on my palette. Accidentally missed some of the blue with the black. Quite the opposite of what I wanted to do. Just to mix some of it with white. Alright. This is a little darker than I want. Although it is nighttime, it does need to be a little dark up there. A little sponge from last time. We'll be using a sponge again. Anyway, sorry, my desk is a little messy. Alright, so we want the top part to be a darker blue because it is in nighttime. Like it's like just those last colors, the last rays of sunshine. So we'll lighten it up as we come down a little bit. Down just a wee bit more. I'm going to kind of blend a little purple into that. As long as the paint is wet, it'll blend nicely. So when it comes to blending, you want to move kind of quickly. I feel like this could be blended a little bit more. From where I'm sitting, it's harder to see unless I stand up. Pink. And last time I think well, I know I'm looking at it, I didn't go down as far with the dark. This time maybe I went a little too far, but it'll be alright. Blend that pink in there. Let's brush out a little bit. Get some of that blue. Yeah, I wanted a little bit more yellow, but there won't be much. That's okay. It is the last bit of light. Now I'm gonna put a hedge of trees back here, so I'm gonna lose a lot of that yellow. I can bring some of it back though, it's not a problem. Once this dries a little bit, if you're painting along at home, I'm using a light green, a dark green, a darker blue, white and black. We will be using black. Just kind of having fun with this guy. A purple, a pink, yellow, and it don't has to be the same colors that I'm using, the same brands. Just as long as just some of those basic colors. All right, so what I might do to save some of this yellow is bring this down a little bit. And so I'm using this color called Thicket. This will be the line of trees in the background. And so what I do is just pop it up here and make irregular I think I added a little green in this or something to make it darker. Or I didn't use that at all. I used blue and green together. This is what I'll do. This is what happens when you make paintings up. Took some of that dark blue and some of that green, dark green that I used instead of the thicket. And I'm just kind of bouncing the brush around and making like a distant tree line. You want to kind of keep it straight down here. And just make this up. It's okay, you know, the tree line's going to be irregular. It's going to be some low and some tall. And try not to be consistent. Try to be very inconsistent with it. So yes, I mixed the dark blue and the dark green together to make this color. I'm just trying to remember. I should start writing stuff down. That would be helpful. Sometimes I create a painting and then I forget what I did with it because I'll wait a couple days and go back to it and then I forget what colors I used. I still covered up more of the yellow than I wanted to, but that's all right. Like I said, it's twilight. There's just a little bit of color left in the sky. Distant. Alrighty, so now this part has had a chance to dry, and it is pretty dry. It dries pretty quickly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back in with my 1-inch flat. See, now that the bottom layer of paint is dry, it's a little easier to create that textured grass effect. It's not blending in, but at least I got it started. Still not really where I want it to be, as I wanted this whole bottom part dry before I did Fireflies, but we've got other things to do too. So this will dry again. I want it darker in the background, except for in the center. Started seeing a bunch of fireflies in my yard this week, so excited about this season. I always love firefly season. It's just fun. It's amazing. We just want to create some texture. So if you look at a field of grass, it's not just a flat green. It's all different shades of green. And being that it's getting dark out, it's not going to be a light green. There may be some areas of light green where the last rays of sunshine are hitting it, but you just need to consider their light. Consider your light source. Got a lot of positive feedback about the lightning bug painting after the last video, and I posted it on my You're the Artist Facebook page, and I got a lot of yes, we want to paint that. So we will be doing this probably next month. I don't really have, I have June already kind of booked up, so and again, because it's the silly tourist season, busy summer, some of my regular venues are just too busy to have me come in, which I understand. I don't want to take any space away from their customers. All right, so we've got a nice textured grass. I like it. I like it even better than the original. I like it. All right, so one of the things we could do. Okay, so what we're going to do, which we didn't do in the original one, is I'm going to take this toothbrush and I'm going to dip it lightly in some white paint. And this is where you might get your hands a little dirty. I want to Just gonna kind of sprinkle some stars. I don't want any like seriously big stars. Just want a little sprinkling. Don't even need that much. I think a little bit on the top here and call it done. Just a little sprinkling of stars. When we do this painting, I'll try and remember to bring, oops, got paint on me. I've already got my paper towel drenched. Okay, so now we're going to put in the trees, in which case I have to get black paint. All right, so now we're going to put in some trees. Clean my brush out just so I can shape it right. So I'm going to use my 1-inch flat. I'm going to make sure it's shaped so it just comes to a point. Put some black paint on it. Let's see. Just going to start. Oh, there's no point in stressing about trees being straight because trees are not straight. My 2nd grade teacher taught me that. I remember we had a project, an art project, and I was having trouble and she came over and asked me what was the problem. What was I having a problem with or trouble with? And I told her I couldn't get my trees straight, and she reminded me that there are no straight trees in nature. Now you can put as many trees as you want. I put a bunch in the original. Let's stick another one over here. And it's okay if it comes up over what you did. Now, of course, I made a very crooked tree there, but that's all right. In the scheme of things, most of this is going to be covered up by leaves. I make this bottom a little fatter. Stick a tree over here. Make that fatter since it's in the foreground. So when a tree is in the front, you want it to be fatter, and as they go back into the background, they need to be thinner because as you move back, they get smaller. And I'm just going to put a little stand of trees back here. And we're going to, again, cover a lot of this up with leaves, so don't stress out about it. Strand there. I'll stick one back here. So you can put your trees wherever you want to. Don't worry about the branches so much. Just put some random branches in here. Again, you'll see in a moment. We're going to cover up leaves. I have a fun way of doing that. Alrighty. So when we do our leaves, I'm going to use a sponge. I tried this in the last one and it worked out great. So I need to put more paint down on my... These are some of the paints I'm using. Deco Art, Hauser Dark Green, the Deco Art Hauser Light Green. For the sky, I used a little bit of the Purple Pizzazz. Your basic white, your basic black. For the dark blue, I'm using the Master's Touch Acrylic, which you get at Hobby Lobby. And if you're buying your own supplies, I highly recommend, if you can use Deco Art paints, which I really like, get them at Hobby Lobbies over Michael's if you have the choice. They're 50 cents cheaper at Hobby Lobby than they are at Michael's. So, I mean, you know, it helps. All right, so we're going to put down some dark green. We're going to use our sponge. This was kind of fun last time. We're just kind of sponge our leaves onto there. And this is why I said that the branches won't matter so much. We're going to wind up covering a lot of that up. You may see some of it through there, here and there. Do the same thing over here. So you can see some of the limbs behind there, so you know they're there, but they don't stand out like they did. All right, so, and you definitely want to leave, this is what we call sky holes. Now if you look at a tree, you'll be able to see the sky through it in certain areas. So I'm going to take some of that light green now and lightly come in and you want to go lighter with this, not so heavy as you did with the dark green. And you can get these sponges at Hobby Lobby or Walmart or Michael's, and they're sold in the art section, but I would imagine any kind of spongy, you know, big whole sponge like this would work. You have to be one specifically for art, but they're pretty cheap. So I only got one more left after this one, so I have to go get some more. I don't usually use these. This is just kind of winged it last time. If you feel like you did too much of the light color, you can come back in with some of the dark green again. It adds a bit of variation and, of course, texture. Coming back in on some of those really light areas with the dark. All right, and One thing you don't want to do is what I'm probably doing now is overdoing it just a wee bit. Know when to stop. I think I did these a little bit too full. This is the last one. I like the trees a little better, but that's okay. Each one of them is different. You can always come back in too. You want to define some of those branches. Bring some of them back that you can see through the leaves. There you go. We're almost done. We're almost at a really fun part. So now what I'm going to do is take some of this light green. Just going to add. I can do it with the dark green too. Come in with dark green. The light green is more effective because we made this kind of dark. Just add a few areas of a couple random areas of more grass. So it doesn't look like the trees were just stuck there. It gives them a little, it kind of gives them a footing. They belong here. Kind of the grass is coming up over the tree limb. All right, now the fun part. We're going to paint little fireflies, and so I think how I'm going to do this is with the yellow, and I'm going to come back over the yellow with some white. And now the ones in the distance, you're going to want to make them real small. And also you can take and also a little reflection of the sky on this grass. So all the distant little fireflies are going to be tiny. And you don't have to put a ton in. You put as many or as little as you want to. You may need to dip your brush in the paint. And you can stick a few up in the trees too. Here in my backyard, they are all over the trees. So if anybody is watching that doesn't live in the same area I do, which is in the East Tennessee, Smoky Mountain area, we have what's called synchronized fireflies. They may have a lottery every year to try and get tickets to see them in the national park. I have never, I don't remember, I may have tried to get in the lottery, but I have so many fireflies in my own yard. But you have to meet at the visitor center and they Have a little bus that drives you out there. I'm sure it's a really neat experience. So keep in mind, tiny little fireflies in the distance. Bigger as they get closer to you. Throw a couple up here in the tree. Alright, so ideally I'd like this to dry 100%, but it's okay. So I'm going to take some white paint. My paintbrush is a little curved because I accidentally left it in the water cup overnight. I'm just going to drop a little white paint in the center of each of these, or at least some of them, the bigger ones. Don't worry about the little ones. I'll come back and fix that one. There's a bead of water on my brush. Such magical little creatures. And the only bug I tolerate. Of course, the white is optional if you're happy with the yellow. I just like to add a little bit. I'd like to think it gives it more of a glowy look. It makes them stand out a little bit more. Especially because once this yellow dries, it will not be nearly as bright as it is while it's wet. I'm just kind of touching up some of these little ones. And there we have it. That's our Firefly painting. Slightly different than the last one, but pretty much the same. Again, there's no tracer. It's just grass. Distant tree line, sky, trees, fireflies. And it's pretty simple. I hope that you enjoyed it, and well, I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera around and maybe introduce you to my studio pups, because they're being really good and really quiet. Of course, it's nighttime, so there's no FedEx trucks to bark at. Alright, see you in a little bit. Well, thank you for coming in and joining with me for painting fireflies. I'm just going to introduce you to one of my dogs, but I'm not sure they want to come up. Penny, you want to come up? Here. Oh. This is Penny, affectionately known as Penny Poopers. And she's one of the 3 amigos here that I have. They tend to want to bark. And Elvis is here. He's very vocal. Want to bark, and so I try and edit that out. I find that I have to do my videos at night because they don't bark at night, because there's no FedEx trucks going by at night. No, you say hi. Alright, so here's the painting we did, the Firefly painting. Just drop comments if you have any questions. I'm happy to answer any questions, but it's pretty easy. And I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll be doing this again I may even do it again on Thursday. We'll see. But I'm hoping at least once a week. All right. Well, you guys have a good night, and I appreciate you stopping by.